everyone, welcome back. So today I thought I would review this Serge Lutens Spectral Foundation for you. This one retails for $175. I think it's a cream foundation. Throughout the day I will provide a few check-ins. For this test I will not use any primer or setting powder just to show the true capability of this foundation. However, at the end of this video I will also talk about previously how the foundation performed when I used the primer. This way I'll be able to provide a more thorough analysis for you on this foundation. So this is how it looks like, and when you open it there's a piece of plastic that seals this foundation. It reminds me of 20th century foundations packaging. I will also try to compare this foundation with other, especially Japanese foundations that are in the same price range, around $200. Now let's see how the foundation looks like when I just applied it. So I have just applied the foundation. In terms of the coverage, I would say it's light to medium coverage. You can still see the redness peeking through and also the sunspots on my nose. It recommends that you apply this foundation with fingers. I wouldn't say it's one of the most easy to apply foundation. It took me about 15 to 20 seconds to apply on my face. Without a primer, right now I can see some of my pores. And if I look really closely, I can see already some of the foundation set in my pores. It's a little bit obvious when I look at the mirror with this kind of distance, about I would say 20 centimeters. I'll check in again in about 3 hours. Now it's been 3 hours since I first applied this foundation. This foundation now definitely looks more glowy than when I first applied it, but I wouldn't say that it need any touch-up. It's just a very low-key and pretty glow. However, when you look close, especially on my cheeks, you can see the pores very visibly. Unlike other $200 foundations like Excia or 20th century foundations that are both from Japan, this foundation does not have any capability of covering your pores. Now I can see my pores around my cheek, this area, very visibly. Especially around my nose, I start to see dry patches, and also I can see that the foundation sets into my pores on my nose. And my chin and around my mouth starts to get a little dry. A lot of foundations, especially Japanese foundations like Coconut Aqua Foundation, 20th Century Foundation, Excia Foundation, or 3, there's a brand called 3 in Japan. When you wear them, it's really hard to detect that you are even wearing a foundation. However, with this Serge Lutens foundation, you absolutely can tell that I am wearing foundation. To be honest, I don't quite like how this foundation looks right now, especially considering the price tag being $175. We'll check in again in a few hours. Okay, so now it's been 6 hours. Let's see how the foundation looks on the skin. When you stay a little further from the mirror and look, you can see a very natural skin-like glow from this foundation. I wouldn't say that it's oily, it's just kind of pretty glow. However, when you look close, it's really gross. I can see that the foundation sets into my pores. All of my pores are very visible. And on my chin and this triangle area, it starts to get really powdery. I can see this white powdery foundation. I forgot to film this part in English originally, but it's zoomed in, and I hope you can see the white little dots on my cheeks, which are foundation set into my pores. And I have dry patches on my chin as well. Also on my forehead, the foundation does not melt into the skin that well. So if this is a matte foundation, then I'm seeing a lot of glow on my face. But if it's a glowy foundation, it shouldn't be so powdery. I think it's just this quality of the foundation for me, combination skin is not that good. This is not the kind of things that I talk about just because this foundation has a high price tag of $175. Even if it is a $5 drugstore foundation, I will definitely still notice all these things. Now let's do the 9-hour final check-in. So basically it stays almost exactly the same as 3 hours ago, the 6th-hour check-in. So when you look with a little distance, the glow looks really nice, but when you look closer, you can see the pores and also the foundation that kind of set into the pores, and also my chin gets kind of powdery and dry. The face gets a little oily, but I wouldn't say that I absolutely need touch-up. Now I also took notes for the situation where I actually used oil control primer before I apply this foundation. Basically, when I just applied the foundation with the primer, the foundation melts into the skin very well and looked really natural. And 2 hours and a half later, the skin starts to have a pearl-like glow, which was really nice. However, when I look close, I can still see that part of the face gets really kind of powdery compared to the other $200 foundations from Japan, like 20th Century or Albion Excia. 6 hours later, the foundation did not break apart, it just looked a little powdery. And 9 hours later, the foundation did not break apart. My T-zone gets a little bit oily, and this triangle area gets really powdery, visibly powdery, and I can see my pores clearly when I look into the mirror. So that's the review for this Serge Lutens cream foundation. I hope this review is helpful for you. Please subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you next time. Bye.